So there isn't a new Treyarch Zombies map that comes out in recent days that isn't accompanied by a live stream by some big famous YouTuber trying to find the Easter egg, you know? They're going on playing for 3 hours and a half, 5 hours, even 10 hours in some cases, trying to find the first step, the fifth step, or the final step to the big Easter egg of the entire map. But would you believe me if I told you that the first ever Easter egg actually remained undiscovered for quite a lengthy amount of time, and it might not be in the map that you first thought? I'm GeneralGerbil, and today I'm going to actually tell you about the first Easter egg that was ever in a Treyarch Zombies map. So like I said, in the new maps, the story and major Easter egg is one of the staples that when a new map comes out we know we're going to be getting. And people actually search for hours and days on end trying to figure out the first step, or however many steps. You got even channels built around finding steps, but the first one was so hidden that we actually didn't find it until about the third map pack after it, sorry. And that was actually on Ascension, and the Easter egg is just called the Kazmir Mechanism. And the reward for doing it and the reward for the effort that we put into it wasn't actually an achievement or anything like that. So I'll tell you a bit more about it. So when you first load up Ascension, you're flying into the map and it's all in black and white. And when you land and you start running around, you can hear this man saying this.
Just call me. The mechanism must be repaired.
Now, no one actually knew what that meant. Everyone just thought, oh, it's just something from the map, you know. The people who weren't invested in the lore, like I wasn't back then, you know. Ascension was one of the first maps I played, the first DLCs I bought. I just kind of brushed it off. I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. Maybe it's just another character or something. And I just carried on playing zombies. But then people started to get the new weapons on that map, and people started to try different things. And slowly we started to piece together an Easter egg that we didn't actually know about. And we'd never seen this before in any map, you know. So this was major stuff that we were finding. And the way they did it was clever. So there were 5 steps to this Easter egg, and that might not sound like much considering what we have to go through now just to get a 50G achievement or an achievement on Steam. But these 5 steps were pretty unique. Remember, this was the first time they'd ever tried this. And one of the things that we had to do firstly was just throw one of our new special grenades, the sacred Gersh devices. We just had to toss one out the map. As simple as that sounds, that's what we had to do. There was a flashing box outside the map and no one took note of it because when you start in Ascension everything's in black and white, so we just thought, oh, it's just a broken light outside the map. But if you toss a Gersh device at that light, there's a box or a generator that gets sucked into the Gersh device, it disappears, and you get more dialogue from the person who's actually Gersh. Obviously we know today because of lore and everything that's built up over the years, but we didn't know he was Gersh back then. But we get more dialogue from him, and slowly but surely we start to build up this Easter egg, and some of the things this Easter egg had us do was actually pretty unique, you know? So we had to throw one of our special grenades outside of the map. We had to stand still under a rocket for 2 minutes. Literally, we had to stand still, shoot a ballistic knife under it, and stand still. And if you had to get crawlers and everything, you really had to prepare for that, because that's, obviously you can't move for 2 minutes, so that's really cool. We had Lunar landers in that map that could take us from place to place very quickly for 250 points. There were letters in the sky in one step and you had to spell out Lunar, and that took you a certain way around the map. That was pretty cool, and there was no way to tell if you'd spelt it right or not, you just had to know where to go. And finally, there's a random orb. Your final step, there's a random orb in one of the Lunar lander stations. You have to throw a Gersh device at it and shoot all your upgraded wonder weapons into it, and that flies off, and that's your final step. There are obviously the steps in between, but it was just so strange for us to discover because we'd never seen anything like this kind of Easter egg before. We'd just seen like little music Easter eggs or little sound clip Easter eggs, but never a story Easter egg that we had to really try for. So you've got 3 hours on the clock, you've spent all night trying this Easter egg with your 3 other friends, and you've done it. You finally shot this orb, it's disappeared, you've got some dialogue from Gersh. What's your reward? Do you get profile pictures for your Xbox gamer tag? Do you get an achievement? Do you get something to put on Steam, like a wallpaper? Oh no, you get a 90-second death machine. All that effort, you got a 90-second death machine, and that's what makes this Easter egg so unique, that you have to go through so much trial and error that you just get a 90-second death machine, but it kicked it all off. So the reason why we have achievements today and stuff is because of this Easter egg. This was one that started it all, which I think is just mind-blowing. You get a 90-second death machine, and you get a small tidbit from Samantha who says, "Come find me," and turns your screen black and white again, then back to colour. But they even call back to this in Moon, because when you do the Moon Easter egg and you do the cryogenic slumber party, you get a 90-second death machine. That's just a reference to your first ever Easter egg that the community discovered. No one told us anything about this Easter egg, we all discovered it on our own. And that just kick-started this whole trend of when a new map comes out, let's find the Easter egg, let's do the Easter egg, let's find the first step, because no one found this step for about 3 months after this map came out. whereas today we're finding the first step within the first 7 hours of the map coming out. So Ascension really has to be handed to it, and its first Kazmir Mechanism Easter egg that we were on our own with. So in a way, we all have to hand it to Ascension and for Treyarch for even trying to put that in, because Treyarch didn't tell us anything. If they hadn't tried it, we wouldn't be at the kind of staple Easter eggs that are at today in newer Zombies maps. So if you haven't tried the Kazmir Mechanism, that Easter egg in Ascension, if you've got 3 other friends, because it does require 4 people, except for the final few steps. If you haven't tried it, I do recommend you go and try it, because even though you don't get anything rewarding from it, it's still something you can say you've done, and it's still something you can say that you've been a part of, so you've done it and you know how all this Easter egg stuff started. But what do you think about not getting an achievement for it or not a profile picture? Did you like that Easter egg? Did you like the way they did it? If you don't, if you agree or disagree with me, feel free to start a conversation with me in the comments. Other than that, I hope you had a great day. I've been GeneralGerbil. Peace out.